Hello dear students. So now particles move continuously, but with the help of this dissolution and diffusion we came to know that particles they move. Intermixing of the particles is possible by their own diffusion or by the external stirring, that is dissolution. Now let us see, is there effect of temperature on movement of particles? So again I want to ask you one question. If your mother is preparing a food in the kitchen and if you come from outside, even without going to the kitchen, sometimes it smells you from the doorsteps and you find it, yes, something delicious is prepared because that fragrance reaches you. Now can you say how it reaches to you? Whereas your mother is preparing food in the kitchen. But the fragrance of that delicacy is reaching to you. So here is my answer, that the smell of that food, it contains the particles which is continuously moving, characteristic of particle, second characteristic. But here, when they are continuously moving, that means they are possessing one energy, that is kinetic energy. And kinetic energy increases because of the increase of the temperature. Increase of the temperature means cooking of the food. Cooking of the food takes place on gas stove. So, heat is given to the food and temperature is increased. Due to that, the particles of that food is getting more and more energy, and due to that, their motion increases. One particles collides with the other particles collides with the other, and they move haphazardly, which we can say randomly. Randomly, that means not in one proper direction, but haphazardly. That is called random motion. And due to that random motion, higher amount of the temperature, it reaches to you even you are not present in the kitchen and away from the kitchen, and you are able to smell that sizzling food, hot sizzling food. This random motion of the particles is called Brownian motion. You see here I have shown the particles will move like this in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, in random direction, haphazard. It is termed by the scientist Brownian. So it is called Brownian motion, which you will learn in higher classes. One more thing I want to put in a focus, that you also perform what activity. In lower classes also you have performed this. Take an incense stick, agarbatti, and put it in a corner. Now sit in the another corner of the room and try to smell. Is it possible that the fragrance will be appearing there, or you are able to smell it for a longer time? No. Because when you have kept incense stick, it is not lighted. Now when you will light the incense stick and then you sit in one another corner or in the another room and then experience the smell. Definitely you will experience the smell even in the another corner or in the next room also. This shows that before lighting, the particles of that smell which present in the incense stick, they were not under the effect of the temperature. So they were not giving the high amount of the smell. You need to go very nearer to the incense stick to smell. But when it was lighted, with the increase of the temperature, the kinetic energy of the particle increases. They start moving randomly and it reaches to all the direction and we are able to smell them. So you perform these activity also. So you will come to know that yes, the characteristic of the particle to move is also correct. Particles moves continuously The kinetic energy of the particles increase with the increase of the temperature. So, the effect of temperature is there on the particles. The one more is particles attract each other. We can say particles attract each other. If the particles are not attracting each other, then how come matter is one such matter? Here I want to explain you one more example or one more activity you see. I would say it's an example. You think of this example and continue for it. Now, one more characteristic, particles attract each other. Yes, particles attract each other. This is the characteristic of particles of matter. Because if the particles will not attract each other, then how come a matter will exist? Each particles of the matter are attracting each other. But how we will understand? So here I am explaining you by an example of friends. Because particles attract each other as per space between them. So listen me carefully. There are 4 groups of friends. In one group, 4 friends are there. In first group, all 4 friends are holding each other from their back very tightly. Second group, they are holding each other by holding their palms together, making a chain. In third group, they are also making the chain just with the fingertips touching each other. First group is holding back of each other. Second group is holding palms of each other. Third group is holding fingertips of each other. Now the fourth group has to enter in these 3 groups to adjust themselves. So what happened? Another 4th group, they ran around the first group and tried to enter between first 2 friends, second 2, third 2, but it was very difficult for them to make them apart and to enter. So they leave the chance and then they went with the second group. In the second group, they did little harder work. They pushed those friends and it happened that some of them, 1 or 2, were able to adjust with the second group. So remaining 2 more group friends, they went to the third group. And as soon as they went and just they struck the member of the third group, it was easy for them to adjust themselves there. So, in this way, the friends were able to adjust themselves in the group 2 and group 3, but they were not able to adjust in group 1. Now, will you think why this would have happened? Definitely. In first group, they hold each other very tightly from the back, so there was no more space. Space was there, but very little space, where the 4th group friends were not able to adjust. In second, as they have holded palm to palm, so somewhat space was there, so 2 more friends were adjusted. And in third group, as they have adjusted itself making chain, themselves making chain by the fingertips, so the remaining 2-3 friends were easily able to adjust with them. So this gives us idea that the existence of this group was because of the space between them. The first was holding so tight. So from this, now let me tell you that as per the space between them, the particles attract each other, and from this there is existence of states of matter. So now you know matter, a substance or an object which occupies space, has a mass or a volume. States of matter. States of matter means distinct forms of matter. States, distinct, different forms of. So, as per the example of friends, the first group, they hold very tightly each other, so other group were not able to adjust in them. So I can say this is the first group of friends holding tightly to each other, which is termed as first state of matter, and that is solid. The another group of matter, those who have holded each other with their palms, so there was little space between, and I think so it would be like this. So this is the second form of the matter, liquid. And the third group, they were holding each other by just fingertips, so there was more space between them, which I can say that it is termed as gas. So these are the three major groups or states of the matter: solid, liquid, gas. Dear students, now characteristics of solid, liquid and gas we will see in next video. Thank you.